Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, let me share with you the 8 bags from Louis Vuitton that I think that you should avoid and alternatives you may wish to consider. Now, I recently put up a video talking about the Louis Vuitton bags that I thought were no longer worth your money. And that video you may think is similar. Yes, it is. But YouTube has removed that video. I have no idea why. There was nothing wrong with that video, nothing counterfeit in that video, as is the allegation. But yet they're not listening to me and they're not putting it back up. So I thought I would make another video sharing with you the bags that I think from Louis Vuitton you should avoid and alternatives you may wish to consider. Now, you may be forgiven for thinking that there may be some people or some companies that don't want us sharing negative views or negative opinions on the internet. I am a lover of Louis Vuitton. I have so many Louis Vuitton bags. I will continue to shop from Louis Vuitton. But I want my channel to be a place where I am open and honest with you. I have been buying luxury bags for over 13 years. I have went through quite a few of them and I want to share with you the pluses and the negatives. I want to also be free to share with you the bags that I think are annoying or I don't think are worth your money or I think you should think about avoiding. And I'm not going to not do that because where did my video go? So let's get started. Let's talk about the 8 Louis Vuitton bags that I think you should avoid and alternatives you should think about considering. Before I do say it, these are only my opinions. If you love any of the bags that I'm saying you should think about avoiding, you buy them. You buy them, you love them, you rock them. I've said in so many videos that I have so many bags that people hate, that people think, why did you buy that? That looks like a book. That has sparkles all over it. That looks like a jumper. Why are you buying though? Because I love them. So if you love any of these bags and this is what you want and what you think are fabulous, then you go right ahead and buy them and you rock them. But for me, I think maybe there's alternatives. And the first one is the Sac Plat from Louis Vuitton. I just don't really like this bag. I think that it is a very straightforward shape. It's like a long sort of rectangle. It's a north-south bag. I don't think there's a lot going on with it. I don't think there's a lot with it by construction, by hardware. I don't think there's a lot of added bits to it to make it worth this price point. I think that there are better options if you're looking at one of these bags that you could spend your money on and you could get more bang for your buck in that, not even just more bag, but maybe more wow version to your bag. And I think there's really better alternatives. The Sac Plat comes in for the petite at $1,870. In the BB size, and these are in the monogram, in the BB size it's $2,420. And in the GM size in monogram, it's $3,300. I think for what this bag is, for its construction, for its shape, that is just too much money and I don't think that's worth your money. And I think if you're looking at that, you should consider alternatives, at least take a look at them. And I think pretty good alternatives to this bag. Firstly, although the shape is different, I think the Alma BB is worth looking at in the monogram if that's the print you were going for or the canvas you were going for. The Alma BB is $1,820. There is a lot more going on with that bag. It's a more interesting shape and look, I think. I think that it just gives you a bit more something to your bag and your look. If you were to wear this crossbody, although I have to say the Alma I prefer hand carried rather than crossbody, but if you were adding that to your outfit, I think it's going to give you more voom added to your outfit than what the Sac Plat is going to do. I do really like this bag. Although I used to hate it, I am now a convert. I also think the Speedy B in the 20 size at $2,070 is a fabulous bag. I think you can get them in canvases, you can get them in leathers. Of course, the price is going to change. The Speedy B in the 20 in the monogram is $2,070. Obviously, different versions of this are going to have different prices. The Speedy B in the leather, there is a pale pink, which I think is stunning. It's $2,570. So yes, there'll be different price points. But that I think is a classic looking bag. Some of them are really stunning. The colours you can get, you can wear it handheld, you can wear it crossbody. I think a lot more going on with this. But if you're a diehard and you love the shape of the Sac Plat, now bear with me because this is more expensive. But if you think, no, thanks for your advice, don't want to listen to it, love the shape of the Sac Plat, which is the north-south, which is the long bag. Coming in at BB size is $2,420. The camera bag. Now, I know this is a lot more money. This is $3,500, so you're going to pay more. But this bag's wow. There is so much more going on with this bag, so much more interesting. Taylor Swift carried this bag. I really like this bag. I really like it in the monogram. I think it's a really good option. I know it's more money, but if you were going to be spending the $2,420, it's worth looking at because there's so much more intrigue to this. And I think these are options to consider instead of number one being the Sac Plat. Number two, and if you're not new here, you'll know I've talked about this before. I do not like this bag. It's the On The Go from Louis Vuitton, and I think there are much better bags to spend your money on. I think that it is boxy. I think that it's awkward. I don't like the shape of it. I don't like the structure of it. I can't get on this board with this bag, but I probably can't get on board with this bag because I'm such a Neverfull diehard lover. I love the Neverfull. I can't get past the Neverfull to look at the On The Go. It just has too much structure for me. And the On The Go also, I think, is very expensive for what it is. And I appreciate there's more going on with it than the Neverfull, but coming in the BB size in the monogram, $2,470. In the MM size in monogram, $3,150. And in the GM size, $3,300. Lot of money, in my opinion, for this bag. The Neverfull, which I get, has less structure, has less going on, but I think is a fabulous bag. Ranges in the monogram for the PM from $1,960. These are all in US dollars, by the way, all American currency, to the GM size at $2,100. A lot of money for the Neverfull, a lot more than I paid for my first one, but I still love it and I would still buy it and I still think it's worth it and I think worth looking at over the On The Go. Number three, another bag you all know that I don't like if you've watched my channel, and that is the Dauphine bag. I just think it's so expensive for what it is. I don't love the look of it personally, but that's my personal choice, that it's not a bag with the reverse monogram and the way the leather's done. I just don't love the look of this bag. Not one of my favourites. But that being said, even above and beyond that, I think it's a lot of money for what it is. The mini Dauphine bag is $3,450 US, and the MM size is $3,900. What I think is a potential alternative for this, we're staying around the same price point, but I think we're getting a much more interesting bag, hardware, structure, design, much more on trend, although I don't really care about trends, so it's not something that would make me decide between one bag or the other. But I think this bag is hot, and it's the side trunk. I think the side trunk is a far better option than the Dauphine. Now, it's not as elegant as the Dauphine. The Dauphine's probably more ladylike if that's what you're interested in. But if you're just looking for a good version of a Louis Vuitton bag that you can wear crossbody or you can hand carry, the side trunk I think is a fabulous bag. Look at the corner detail. It's made like the trunks. I think it's a cool bag. I think there's one of these in my future. The side trunk in the monogram, in the Pico size, which is the smaller size, is $3,300, which is cheaper than the mini Dauphine. That blows my brain a bit. I can't see how the side trunk is cheaper than the Dauphine. But $3,300 for the Pico and $3,600 for the side trunk PM, which was the first size that was released. Side trunk I think is a fabulous bag. A lot of money for a canvas bag, I get that, but I can get on board with it with the side trunk when you look at the hardware, look at the style of the bag. Not so much for the Dauphine. Number 4, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate in this video, but these are my views. So if you do want to come and tell me I'm wrong in the comment box, by all means do it. Just please be respectful. But by all means, I can take the criticism. But number 4 is the Go 1-4. And I know a lot of people love this bag. And I've had messages when I've talked about this bag before. A lot of you have came into the comment box or DM'd me and said, yes, I can see that, but see, once you see it, it's a fabulous bag. I love it. I absolutely adore it. I'm so glad I bought it. And if you love it, I'm so glad that you love this bag. But for me, I just think it is an awful lot of money for what it is. It reminds me a lot of the Twist bag. I think the price of it for what it is, although the leather is beautiful, the leather malletage is beautiful, and it is a classic looking bag, I just think it's too much money for what it is. One day I might eat my words and be showing you one on this channel, but I will be surprised if that happens. The Go 1-4 in the Pico size is $4,550 US, and the Go 14 in the size is $6,900 US. I think that's a lot of money, and I think if you're looking for the Go 14 or the twist style with that lock, there are only a few bags that's going to give you that option. But if you're just looking at the leather and the quality of the bag, which I was doing, you might want to consider the Alma BB in the Malatage. And that is exactly what happened to me. I was looking at the Go 14 in this leather. I loved the black and white version of it. I still didn't love the bag, and I certainly didn't love the price at $6,900. But I loved the black and white leather. I loved the squidginess. I loved the Malatage. I thought it was stunning in the black and white, and the black and white kept grabbing me. Then I saw the Alma in the Malatage, and I went for this, and I'm so glad I went for this. I get the same look. I actually prefer it in the Alma shape with the gold details and the Pochette rather than the lock. I think this is a beautiful bag. If it's the lock you're going for, this won't give you that. But if it's the leather and the craftsmanship, this in the BB in the Malatage is $4,450. It's still an expensive bag, of course it is. But compared to $6,900, there's a bit of a difference there, and it is still a stunning, stunning bag. And on that lock, number 5 is the twist bag. I used to be such a supporter of this bag, and I still love the bag. I still love the lock. I considered selling this. I then changed my mind because I love the black and white limited edition monogram on this. I think it's a great bag. I don't really use this bag anymore, but it's sentimental, and I couldn't really get on board with selling it. I did change my mind. I think now, though, the price of them has just risen so high, I don't really think they're worth it anymore. I think there's other bags you could look at if you're going to be spending this sort of money. This is now in the PM size, which is what this is. This is a small one. There is a smaller one. There's a mini or a nano now. But if we look at the handbag type size in the PM, this will cost you $4,550. There is a range to this price because you will get ones with added chains and bits hanging from them and more limited versions, and the price of those will be higher. But these are ranging from $4,550 in the PM size to $5,250 in the MM size. I think that's a lot of money. I do think it's a lot of money for this bag, which generally I wear crossbody. I think a good alternative to look at is one we talked about earlier, and it's the Speedy B20 in the leather. That is coming in some beautiful colours. It's a really classic bag, but with a twist. The leather colours, I think, make it interesting and modern. The chain is detachable. It isn't on this without doing some DIY work. It's easily worn. There are beautiful versions of it, and in the leather it's $2,570. That's less than half than the MM in this. And I think really the leather version of the Speedy is beautiful, and I think these have just got too high now, and the resale of these is terrible if that's something you're interested in. What about resale value? I think that leather Speedy is something to look at. I think they're beautiful. Number 6, I know I'm gonna get it for this, is the multi-pochette accessoire. Now I used to have one of these. I got caught up in the hype and bought it because I was caught up in the hype. I never really loved the bag, but it was very usable. It was very light as a mum bag. It was very close to the body, so definitely very usable. But I sold it because I didn't use it, fell out of love with it. And I think now they're $2,620 US. I think the utility type look is gone. If you still love it, don't buy it for that trend. Buy it if you love that bag and if you think it would be a usable bag. But if you're buying it as something for a fashion moment, I think the trend of the utility type bag has passed, definitely down from its height. And I don't think this is really worth it anymore at that price. Yes, you still would have all of the pouches individually, and you may use the strap with other bags, and you may use the different pouches with different straps, and that may make it worth it for you because there's going to be uses for them. But I think this is one to be worth considering avoiding. And if you're looking for an everyday bag like that, another bag to consider, although I accept fully that this is also past the height of its popularity, but it's still a great bag, and it's the Pochette Metis. They're the same price, they're both $2,620, and the Pochette Metis is a great everyday bag. It's very usable. It's Meredith's everyday bag out of her whole collection. They come in different colours and leathers. I think it's a really good bag to look for if you're looking for an everyday bag that isn't quite as trendy looking as the multi-pochette accessoire and therefore not quite as noticeable that it's not on trend. I totally get the Pochette Metis has passed its height, but still a great bag, I think. Number 7 is a new bag on the website, and it's the Bloom pouch. I think this is a trend. I think it's trendy. Basically, the shape of the bloom from the Louis Vuitton collections, they've made a pouch in that shape. If you collect, maybe, if you want the trendy piece, but I think this will pass. And I think at $2,270, it's a lot of money for a trendy piece that I think will go out of trend. And alternatives to this you may want to consider are the traditional Pochette accessoire. They've now added the strap to that. They've the chain. I know it's $1,550 compared to how much it used to cost, but I still think it's a very good everyday pouch type bag. And another one that I really like is the wallet on chain, the Ivy version at $1,760. I think both of these are more classic. I think they will stand the test of time longer. They're a better price point, and I think these are good alternatives to consider to this new, very trendy Bloom pouch. And lastly, if anybody is still talking to me at number 8, and if my video hasn't been deleted, it is the Capucines bag. And I'm conflicted in talking to you about this bag, but hear me out. This is the mini Capucines version. This was a limited edition with the plexiglass handle, so this probably was slightly more expensive than what the mini was at the time. You can see behind me another magenta mini. I love them. You can see an Audi Capucines down here, a lot more expensive than a normal Capucines. And you can see a pink Capucines over here with the enamel handle. So this is a bag clearly I got on board with. I've got 4. Clearly I love this bag. I don't love the price point, and that's the only thing that makes me talk to you about these bags. I think this is not a bag I'm saying I wouldn't buy. Hopefully at 4 I may be done, but I couldn't guarantee you there wouldn't be another one. If one came out that was just fabulous and I couldn't pass it up and I just loved the design or whatever, because I do think these are great bags. Very, very, very classic bags. They are, for Louis Vuitton, what they're trying to be. They're elite type bags. This, the Go 14, some of the other bags are bringing out, like the new versions of the Alma that's very expensive with the cross across it. There are bags they're bringing that are their higher level type bags, let's say. So they're very expensive. The craftsmanship in this is beautiful. It is a very well made bag. I do love the look of it. The mini, if you're interested in a mini, please watch my review of this bag because it's very annoying and it's very difficult to use and it's fussy, but it looks fabulous. And that's why I'm saying consider avoiding these bags. If it's the mini, the price is slightly better. The price at a mini starts at $6,350. There will be versions like this that will be slightly more. And at the BB size, they go up to $8,800. Now there's new versions of this. There's the slouch version that have come out. There's probably more expensive versions than that. But if we're looking at, say, a classic mini and a classic BB, we're talking about $6,350 or $8,800. A lot of money for bags that in the mini, not very usable, handheld, look fabulous, don't get me wrong, love them, you know, stroking one, but very expensive for lack of usability. The BB, which is that size, let me grab it. This size, although this is an Audi Capucine, so this will be more expensive, a lot easier to use, but we're talking up at £8,800, £1,000, or $1,000, sorry, we're in dollars. And if we're looking at these bags, the thing about the Birkin, say, which is over there, the Birkin is an awful lot of money, but it has its cult following. It has everybody wants the Birkin. Everybody is on board with the Birkin. The Speedy, the P9 Speedy, the Pharrell Speedy that mine was £6,800. What's that? Nearly $8,000. Lot of money, but the leather in these are beautiful. So soft. Also beautiful bags. Not worth it if we're talking about dollar amount. Nope, not worth the money. But lovely, lovely bags. And Louis Vuitton are trying to have a certain amount of their bags that are elevated. This has the following. Since these were being released, waiting lists for them, put your name down, pay your money, you might get one, hard to get. This hasn't reached that status. And I think Louis Vuitton have tried to make the Capucines their kind of Birkin type bag and have that type of following, but it just hasn't worked. Hasn't reached that. And that's why it's hard, I think, to justify the price point of them. I buy them because I love them, and if you love them, you buy them too. They're beautiful bags, very well made. but they don't have that level of want. They don't have that supply and demand argument. They don't have that frenzy trying to get them. And that's why I think they struggle with their price point. They also do not hold their money on the resale market. The minis will hold their money slightly better than the bigger versions, but even minis you can see at very reasonable prices as per what the original price was. So if you're looking at one of those, do bear that in mind. And I would say only buy those bags if you absolutely love and adore them. I think an alternative to that to consider, still this version of the Alma Malatage bag. And in the leather, because the leather in this is beautiful, the craftsmanship's beautiful. It's a very, very beautiful bag. And in the Malatage and the BB, it's $4,450. That is nearly $2,000 less than the mini Capucines and nearly $4,400 less than a BB Capucines. So there's a huge difference. Not dissimilar. Yes, this has a lot more going on and there's more intricate design to it, but really not that dissimilar if you had a bigger one of these. A lot of money in a difference. I think you'd have to really love it, as I did and bought it. But this one, worth considering as an alternative. Those are 8 Louis Vuitton bags that I think you should consider avoiding, why I think you should consider avoiding them, and alternatives from the same brand, which I still love, Louis Vuitton. Other alternatives that you may want to consider as bags instead of these, be it on their price point, what's going on with them, their shape, their design, whatever it is I've talked about, that's my reasoning. Let me know what you think in the comment box. Let me know, do you think of any of these bags, you love them, you adore them, or you think, actually, I do think they're worth not looking at, maybe looking at something else. I would be interested to see your views in the comment box. But please, if you're coming for me, please be respectful. I can take the criticism, but let's keep it kind down there in the comment box. Thank you so much for watching this. If you've enjoyed it or found it useful in any way, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please do consider subscribing. Let's hope this video doesn't disappear. And if you're not done with me yet, I'm going to leave another video for you on the screen to enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching me. Please take care and I will see you again in the next one.